Hello, today we're going to be going over two simple jazz techniques that you could put into practice on the trumpet. Now let's get started with the terminology first. Okay, so the two terms we're going to use today and learn are falls and doits. Now what exactly are falls and doits? Well, falls are when you're going for a descending pitch, and a doits is when you're going for an ascending pitch. So for example, this would be a falls, and this would be a doits. Do you get the difference? Falls is when you go falling down, doits is when you go ascending up. So it could be from any note to any note, as long as for falls it goes down, and for doits it goes up. For example, I could go from mid C to low C for a falls. Now, if you're able to do that, then that's great. You could play a falls. And for a doits, it would be the opposite. You would be going from a low note to a high note. So let's just do, to make it simple, low C to mid C. I'm not sure if you get the point. If you do, that's great, but if you don't, stay with me. So there is no certain order of the fingerings that you have to use. As long as you go from the note that you're supposed to play to the note that you're supposed to play at the end, then you're good. Maybe you even have just a starting note and it just shows you the squiggly note sign that's practically showing that it's a glissandos. In other words, it's usually written between two written notes, and it would be showing either a falls or a doits. So maybe, for example, I have a song where it goes from high E, but then there's no, low note that I'm supposed to play at the end. It just shows a falling sign because it's the squiggly line that's going downwards from E. So I would play a falls from E to any note that I want to play, as long as it's lower. And through that process, you could, as I said, do any fingering. Usually it would be all random like this. And who knows, maybe you like to go like this, over and over like this. Or maybe you want to do the opposite. Or maybe you just want to do a completely random thing, and either way, that's fine. As long as it's not a certain note until it gets to the end note. Yeah, so very simple concepts. Now all you have to do is process that into your brain and make sure that you understand what you're doing, and then put it into practice. So for this series of techniques in jazz, it's very important to be able to hear your starting pitch so that you're able to play that pitch right from the beginning and just go down or go up. Falls or doits. Yeah, so I'll give you guys one last example of a falls first, and then I'll show you an example of a doits. That would be a falls. I start at one note and I just went down to a random note. I don't even know what it is because I didn't really, put the effort to notice what note it was. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do a doits. Either way, it doesn't even have to be a good note. As long as it goes from low to high, that's a doits. Yeah, but I would recommend for these techniques playing the first note really clearly for like a very short amount of time, and then going just straight down or straight up. And you should probably end it, I usually like to do it until it's the next measure, because even if you have this technique, sure, it's fun to do forever and ever, but you have to keep on going with the music, because usually they have it not always in the end of a song. Sometimes it's in the middle. You can't just do your own thing while everyone else is following some kind of specific, music piece. So just keep in mind that you have to keep, you know, the amount of time that you have in your head so that you don't go overboard. And if you play for too short of an amount of time, that's okay, because you could just wait until it's your turn to play again, whether it's a false or doits or anything else. Make sure to keep on top of your music and make sure that you know how to play the different styles and techniques in different genres of music. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.